what you call me. You were the little dreamer. Yeah, they talked about you cold when you were headed for the skies, but you.
All right, something like that. All right, I just learned that solo a couple days ago. It was one of the, well, I guess there's a fair amount of them, like old Van Halen songs I never did learn. I learned like a handful of them. A lot of the ones that I learned that I would just play over and over and over again, stuff like Panama, Ain't Talking About Love, that kind of stuff. You can't really even do it on here. It's just been done over and over and over again. I have like nothing new to add to any of that stuff. So I decided to pick a song that I never learned before. And off of this record here, paid $3 for this record in the 90s. I think this is one of the original ones from the 70s. I have the white tape. I have a couple of CDs of it, the remaster versions, all that stuff. I have tons of copies of this record. No wonder why I sold so many copies. You know, but anyway, I think it's, I didn't really like spot check it that well. I think it's pretty much right. But I want to focus on the legato lick in the middle of it. Kind of going back to the well of the Van Halen licks. I just did a video back in late October on the DOA legato lick. And that video is by far my most successful video as far as views, likes, click duration, all this like, YouTube stuff. You know, people who decided to subscribe to the channel. It was my most successful video by far. So this is almost kind of like a brother-sister kind of video to that. So we're going to take a look at this lick and kind of break it down a little bit. This is almost a bit of a, you know, there's a chromatic part at the ending there, the whammy die, but it's almost like a Phrygian shape on the high E and the B. I think probably what Eddie was thinking here, it was more along the lines of what they call the Van Halen scale, which is the same note pattern from low to high. He does it in Jump, he does it in On the One. I think Feel Your Love Tonight, he does it as well. Like say if your frets were 11, 12, 14, you're doing that on the low E, going all the way up through the high E. I think that's kind of probably what he was thinking with this lick here. All right, so we are tuned to E flat, so I'm gonna call it a C sharp, even though the actual pitch is not a C sharp. There's a C sharp in this legato run, and for the most part during the riffage and that type of thing in the song, he's playing a C. You know, it centers around the B flat, the G, the F, and the C, you know, like in that area. So the fact that there's a C sharp in the solo, it would be kind of strange. I mean, I guess you could look at it as kind of like a passing tone, but the reason why I'm, you know, basically getting into is it Phrygian, is it the Van Halen scale, that type of thing, is because of that C sharp note for the most part. And then, you know, there's chromatics, obviously, as said before, so there's a lot of stuff going on there. So I'm going to just slow it down real quick and put the tab over top. And that's another thing too, is I've seen it tabbed out differently as far as the first slur and the legato part. I've seen it where the first 3 notes are picked to where the slur is only 4 notes as opposed to 5. Kind of similar to that part in the beginning of Eruption on the G string in the key of A. You're probably familiar with that. It's before the notes are descending chromatically on the D and the A string. So I'm just going to slow that down and just show it to you real quick. All right, so that's pretty much it. I hope you got something out of this. Again, one thing that I failed to mention in the first video that I made, the DOA one, was that the video, it's more or less, the purpose is to kind of like bring attention to, I guess, a lick that kind of doesn't really get mentioned as much, I guess you can say, because there are a lot of things that always do get mentioned in terms of Van Halen guitar playing. For some reason, these legato licks, I've never seen them isolated and mentioned on their own. I've seen like whole solo lessons and that type of thing where it's inside of a larger portion of music. I've never seen it isolated and focused on. It kind of is important. It's a bit of a building block in a lot of things that Eddie does, you know, and it's one of those things where once you get it under your fingers, you can do a lot of things. You can improvise with it. You can move it all around the neck. You can do what he did. You could have it on the lower strings and the higher strings, that type of thing. And it is a really cool sound. And I don't know if there's delay on that lick in this song or not. There could be. Like if you listen, you know, back to that isolated track, there could be. It sounds like there's something going on there. Maybe it's just plate reverb. I'm not really sure. But anyway, again, just my opinion on a lot of this stuff. Trying to offer a different perspective. Hope you got something out of it. Appreciate you watching, and hope to see you and checking out some of the next videos. So again, take care everyone. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it, and later.